weavers in there, there were weaving houses in there as well, in amongst that. I don't know, they just simply had their house and offices, instead of building it, they just built it in a long house. Just a big long house.
They don't seem to have any particular order
of
building these places.
That's the whole thing
about
that.
In a square or something?
Not at all. We're talking about the 18th century. These were built.
They have land. They didn't have to come in at all angles.
They built it a bit like a village or a hamlet, but it was a haphazard hamlet, shall we say. It wasn't a plan. You didn't go to the planners to get permission. You just put whatever you wanted up. Anyway, are you with me there? You're clear enough on that. So you can get all that. I could zoom up a bit more, but I don't need to. I'll tell you what I want to do now. I want to do this. You see this slider? This slider is sitting at half, and it's giving me the Griffith valuation. But I can get a modern road map, and I can get a satellite image, and I can put them on top of one another. Many people have done that. Oh, so you know what I'm telling you about then, so you don't need to know. Right, let's go for the map first. No, let's go for the satellite. Now, nothing's happened. It's down in the corner, but if I do this, so I now see what it looks like. Now that's not today, but it's maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, or 7 years ago, or something like that. It's near enough to today. Now look, you see that big area there? That's where 6BA was. There's nothing there now. That's all open ground. But you see that there? That's 4BA. How do I know that? Now this is hard. You need to be watching the screen to do this. Not that screen, but my screen. Can you sort of see? Can you see how the? No, it's hard. I know it's hard to see, but you do this yourself. All you do, you just play around with this slider until you get used to it, and it's relatively easy to do. And you see, there is the house that's still standing today. There is the house that's gone. That's the 6BA, and that's the 4BA. I don't think I'll go any further because you can't really. You really have to do this for yourself. That's why I wanted to let you see how it's done. It's very hard to actually explain that to somebody with screenshots. You know, by making a. I often have to do this, but I can't use this on my website for the simple reason is Google has the copyright on it, and they won't allow you to do anything. So I can't explain it to people. The only way I can explain it to them is to go online. Are you happy enough with that?
You can't print off the online?
Oh yes. Oh yes, that's not a problem. I'll show you how to do that. That's easy. Let's bring this down a bit. I mean, how do you think I got that there? Oh, I can print it off a satellite. But as long as you don't use them commercially or you don't put them up on the web yourself, it's all right.
Did you print that off your laptop?
Oh yes.
Because mine won't print off my laptop, but I'll print off a computer.
No, but I didn't print it. I'll show you what I did to do it. If I could remember what I'm doing here. What do I want to do? I want to. Where's the? I want to come down. That's too much. No, that's too much. Let me go a bit. So, you see that there? I could print. Well, first I would F11 it to give me more room. I want to do that. All I do is right click. Come on, right click, you fool. Why is it not right click? No, wait a minute. It's doing funny things to me. Oh, I know why it's right.
You can move the bar back to the middle.
Wait a minute. Hold on, no. It's not working today for some reason. I would right click and save it. Oh no, I don't, sorry, stupid. Print screen. You know there's a command on your print screen, another screen dump. What they used to call screen dump it, right? So I can screen dump that. Just let's screen dump it quickly. And then I have to, but wait a minute, that's the problem. I need to bring that back. Then I simply open up. I'm going off the tangent here. I don't really want to get down this road, but I'm going to have to stop shortly. I would then bring up, presentation 1, right? Take rid of that. Get rid of that and paste. And there it is. It's in there. right? It's now on my PowerPoint slide. But what I do now is that's when I right click, save as picture. So I decide, I'm not going to do this, like, you know how to save a picture. You just decide whether you want a PNG file or a JPEG or whatever you want, or a BMP or whatever. You then save it to wherever you want to put it on your computer. And you have a picture of that. Now that's illegal in a way, but it's not illegal if you do it for yourself. No, I mean seriously, I mean, it's illegal if you then write a book and try and sell it to somebody. It's illegal that way. But if you're just simply wanting a reasonably good, you can do 2 or 3, see, of different sizes, and then you can make your own PowerPoint and so on and so forth. That's how I do all the work that I do anyway. So is that clear enough? I don't want to have to go through the whole thing, but you see the point. You can actually make a copy of it, but not. There are other ways of doing it, I'm sure, as well. I find in computing that's usually the case. Now, that's probably, and I don't want to go any further with that, but there's a lot of other things you can do. I mean, you can, that's, I don't need that anymore. I can then change that to a map again and do this. And I get, actually, that's too big a scale. Let's bring the scale down. I get a road map, a modern road map. So if you're investigating, say you've come across a townland, which, shall we say, is one that you don't really know much about, you don't know the area very much, you're not sure where to find it, but you know it's out the such and such a road. You can use this here to find your way there. And then once you've found it, just use the slider and that's the 20th century, or the 21st century, take yourself back to the 19th by using the slider, because now the map is a 19th century map. The date of that map's interesting. That map is probably dated, those orange maps, there's a lot of them, those orange maps are probably dated 1870 to 1883, which can cause a problem sometimes. Remember that printed Griffiths is 1861. If you're using an 1870 to 83 map with an 1861 list, there may be a mismatch sometimes. Oh, but often there isn't a mismatch. The mismatch comes if you get a lot of change between 1861 and 1870. So you've got to be careful that the map you're using is the correct map.
Does the slider change between the maps?
Oh, there's only one map. That's the only map you get. But that's the only 19th century map you get. You're going from the slider allows you to look at the present day through the satellite image and the modern road map, but they only give you one map. In actual fact, you know how many maps there are covering the period from 1859 to 1935 for this particular townland? 6.
How do you get access to those?
Here. You access them here. You do an e-catalog. Do you know what an e-catalog search is? You should do. Yeah? No? You ever done an e-catalog search? Oh well. If you go onto the PRONI website, it will say search the e-catalog, and all you do is put in certain information. We'll see if I can find the. I'm going to come out of that now, if you don't mind. One is 2. That's what. But there's no. We could do it here, Angela. I'm never going to get this finished, you know, this week. But I mean, it's a question of where's the e-catalog?
It's on down.
You have to get down a bit. There. Right. So I searched the e-catalog. Have you seen this before? The problem with there we are. So I want to search for. Now the thing is, you need to know. And in that first diagram it mentioned that I showed, it was up there before we started. The maps run as follows. The map that matches that there is actually the Val 2A, but usually unreadable. The map you want, apart from the Ask About Ireland one, is Val 12D. So I'm going to look to see what Val 12Ds are available for this area. Now I need to know the sheet number, but the sheet numbers given to you, and you notice there the sheet number, if you look, it'll say sheet 11. Where are we? Yeah, you see up at the top there, ordnance sheet 11. And every townland in the Griffith printed valuation will tell you the sheet number. So I want sheet 11, so all I do is this. It's hard to do this standing up. What did I say I wanted? But it would be even worse. Quite right. Val 12, no, not 22, you fool. 12D. Right, now, at that point, you don't know what that's all you need. Val 12D, no. Val 12D, no, I don't want that. I want Val 12D 1. I have to make sure I put it in properly. 11. Now let me explain what all that means. You can hardly see this, I'm sure. Val is the valuation number. 12 is the way they've assigned the number 12 to these rather than 2. D, 12D means you're looking for the maps that will match the Griffith revisions, because you're now moving away from Griffiths into the Griffith revisions. 1 is County Antrim. It's alphabetical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do the counties alphabetically. Londonderry is 5. Armagh must be 2, and so on. No, Armagh will be 2, and so on. So that stroke, and you notice there has to be a stroke, or a forward slash. And the sheet is 11. But if you only put in 11, it doesn't work. What you do is you put in an asterisk and hit enter. And there you get. See what you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, there's 7. I thought there were only 6, but there's 7. Now, you notice they're all different dates. Sorry?
You can view those online.
No, you cannot. No. No. You have to come up here and order them. And you have to order them one at a time. You can't order them as a block. I can understand why. Because if you were sitting with 7 maps, I mean, the place would be a chaos. So it's different. If you order the books, they'll give you all the books together, but they won't give you all the maps together, which I think is quite right. So I would like. Now the thing is, I know from using this, or from working in this particular turnaround, that there isn't that much change really until about there. So actually, the map that you have there, which is coming off the Ask About Ireland site, is quite sufficient. It'll do the job well. But once you get further on, you'll have a problem. The problem is you'll find a 6C. And that's, you think, well, where's the C? There's no C in that map. There isn't a C in that map. That C comes later, and you'll find it on those maps there. And you'll see exactly where it is. It's not surprising where it is, but you need to be sure. So I could show you townlands that would drive you nuts in terms of the way the numbering has changed. Farms have been put together, farms have been sold to somebody else or whatever. They're a real mess. There's the odd townland like that, but most of them are fairly straightforward. Now I want to quickly get to the revisions here, because I need to show you then how you would use these. Would be useful to you. Incidentally, I have on this PowerPoint, I have, it's about 29 megabytes, which is big, but I can put it up on my website, because I'm not even going to get through 1/3 of it. And if you want to go through it, and there's also a lot of stuff on my website about this, which you can, and it's the only way. There's so much. I mean, you have no idea the amount of material there is. I mean, Griffiths itself is easy. It's easy to read the printed book, and it's easy to get the map. But when you start doing the rest of the stuff, it sounds easy, but it isn't. You have to sort of work at it. So I'm going to now take that out of the system and see if I can show you something else now. I want to go back to my. I want to go to this. Actually, this is the best way to do it. What I'm going to do now, I'm not going to show you how to actually access this online, because it could take me another 10 minutes to do that, and it'll probably crash on me anyway. But this, if you go online, and again, you'll see how to do it on my website. And we want to look to see what happened to 4BA and 6BA. This is really a continuation of the Val 2A, and the sort of Griffiths book, printed book, is sort of in between it. Ignore it. You don't need this. You go from it to this, and this is now Val 12B, 4, 23B, 1864 to 1866, page 4. Now, whenever you realise it's that, you then see 4BA, James Pinkerton. And that's a senior. Now, I put that on because you can hardly see it, but if I do this, then you can see it. Can you see it a bit better now? And this is what you can do, you see. I would always download them off the internet and put them into a folder and use them like a book. And I'm now going to leaf through this as if it was a book. But you have to do exactly the same sort of thing as I did with the map. You have to take it off. But this time, you only have to save, you don't have to actually go through the process of putting it into PowerPoint. You just simply save it as a file. It's as simple as that. Now, where are we? 4BA, James Pinkerton. You'll notice they've put the senior in there because it wasn't in before. Now let's go to 6. Now, I'm going to bring this down a bit because you can't see it all. I'll come down, you fool. Right. Now, can you see there at the very bottom? Very hard. It's very hard. I'm going to give it a wee bit.